kicking and screaming, and maybe like we need a third adjective for this because John's joining us here today.
Pick whatever you want. Take it. Take whatever you want to say.
I know this whole thing is dedicated to Heated Rivalry, which we are obsessed with, which you are obsessed with, which he was forced to watch.
Yeah, I was forced.
So we're gonna.
I watched it all in one night too, which made it even harder.
Well, that's because we weren't going to do this show unless you actually watched.
I watched. I did watch. I screwed up the order, but I did watch.
Is that literally because you made him?
Yes. I was like, I'm not going to talk to you about it unless you actually watch it. Don't knock it until you try it.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking.
He tried it.
Yeah, he tried it.
He tried the whole 6 episodes.
Because I did a little out of order because I actually hit on 5 when I thought it was 3. But you know what happens with me.
If anyone who's watched the series, the payoff to episode 5, I'm just like,
which was good because I didn't have to watch 3
again. So he appreciates it.
because I didn't have to watch 3. Then I said, okay, I already know what goes with it. I know how this ends, so I'm not worried about this anymore.
Well, before we get to that, we do have to just touch on what the heck happened in the NFL over the weekend. You're the only person screaming there.
We're in New York.
I know. I'm
really
New York.
Especially in New York. We hate
some
the fats.
decorum.
We hate the
He
fats.
doesn't know. He does not believe in that word, nor does he. I'm sure he doesn't even want to recognize that word.
No.
But first,
And Jordan's will it last because I think it's going to be a new era. I was out there on Tuesday when the Giants introduced John Harbaugh, Super Bowl winning coach, future Hall of Famer. And look, since the Tom Coughlin era, the Giants have been to the playoffs twice. They were in 3 games because they won just one of those games at 2016, 2022. So to any Pats fans, just enjoy it while it lasts because you know who they beat to win their last 2 Super Bowls during the Tom Coughlin era. Need I say more? Matt, need I say more?
he knows.
Want a little reminder?
Yes, he wants to cry again.
We did a
For people just tuning in though, Jen, like introduce yourself and what you do here at Fox 5 and why you're so passionate about sports.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I am the sports reporter here at Fox 5. And I don't know. I played growing up and I worked at a racket club to pay for my tennis lessons growing up because I was so obsessed with tennis. My first love is soccer. My lifelong love is tennis. And I love the story. I think this is something we talked about with Heated Rivalry. I love the storyline that surrounds sports. I love how sports transcends. And I'm definitely a sports nerd. Anyone will tell you that they're kind of like.
And now she's obsessed with hockey butts. We're going to get to that in a second.
You're not the only woman who feels that way. Don't feel
you
bad.
feel that way too?
No.
Join the club,
listen.
Lou.
No, we're not joining that club.
Your takes on what happened over the weekend.
Not surprising. Love the games. Games were good other than the Seahawks game. They were all close.
That was embarrassing.
I do believe that play is going to be controversial for years to come.
We're going to talk about it.
Whole interception.
We're going to talk about it.
And we talk about emotions. We talk about emotions, about how, people watching Heated Rivalry and how they show their emotions. It was nice to see Josh Allen show. He broke down. He cried. He felt he let his team down. He felt he was
His
not the guy.
He cried when he found out that he cried.
Right. And it bothered the teammates, so that bothered him. Yeah. And then what do? They fired the coach. Someone's head had a roll.
And now Brian
and McDermott rolled.
Former Giants head coach, might be going back to Buffalo.
I worked with
who was credited with Josh Allen's just emerging.
Can we talk about that interception? I mean, the internet just blew up after seeing this compared to the day before, or a couple days before, the game before that. I was watching it in slow motion. I said, the hell is this? No, I really do think the refs got that wrong. Especially, or just be consistent with what you're calling it.
Right.
Not short interception.
Again, it's just one of those calls that alters the outcome of the game, and you hate to see it in overtime.
Yeah.
It's funny because I feel like it depends if you ask an offensive or defensive player, because a lot of defensive players say that it was an interception.
Explain how that was an interception.
Well, I saw it as, I didn't see it as an interception, but if you're a defensive player, you're going to say.
Why would a defensive player say that was a true interception?
They're going to be like.
Was it a defensive player?
No, I know.
No, I mean, that's really it.
Give me some of the rules of the game, like knees down, possession of the ball.
I thought once he caught and they had the referee guys, they always have their officiating guys on these TV, and they all said it was an interception. I'm not 100% sure. I think once you catch the ball and you have it, even if it's simultaneous, once he hit the ground, whistle should have been blown.
Yeah.
He should not have been allowed at that point to get the ball away. He was not in the midst of pulling the ball away before he hit the ground. That should have been a reception. I agree with the Bills.
And here's my theory on this, is that we have already seen some posts about who is supposed to end up in the Super Bowl and what colors lean towards which two teams. I think the refs were paid for this one. I think they were paid.
Well, somebody had to pay them because the Chiefs weren't there. So the Chiefs aren't. If they're not getting paid from the Chiefs, then someone has to pay them off. So now we know. We went from the Chiefs to the Broncos. Sean Payton. Not that Sean Payton has ever done anything wrong in football, right? He's never had any problems in his career.
Golden boy.
Allegedly, as we all well know.
Hey, New Orleans is a lot like Vegas. Whatever happens in New Orleans stays in New Orleans, okay, right?
And, the same play happened against Devontae Adams of the Packers, and they call it the opposite way. So who knows? I don't even know if they know the rest.
That's inconsistent.
Right.
And as fans, to call them out, to be inconsistent on a level like this, when you're talking about which teams are going to the Super Bowl, which means money, which means like just money to the city, money to the teams. I'm like, I think can they go back and be like, we were wrong? No, you can't.
They could. They can say they're wrong, but they're not going to play the game again. So that's just it. I mean, they can say it, but then and the NFL doesn't really admit these things. Very rarely will they admit it, so you're not going to hear it.
What we are going to admit today is that you are 1 year older.
Yes, I am. I'm older. That's right. An old man.
Birthday.
I'm an old man.
Happy birthday, dear Lou.
I'm 63. I admit what I am. I tell my age. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
How are you?
I told you 63.
How are you going to party and get wild?
63-year-olds don't party.
He's going to get double meat in his Chipotle today. That's
sorry, no, we'll let him say it. Where's the place that you go eat to on a regular basis?
Chipotle. We're going to
sorry,
go to Chipotle.
Say it one more time.
I'm going to go to Chipotle, tell them they're my birthday, get a freebie out of them. It'll be perfect.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
No.
double meat on the
Why do you like this restaurant so much?
It's just around the corner, so I don't have to walk that far.
But
Simple.
make sure you say the name so we can maybe hit him up for a free bowl.
I don't know her name, but there's a very nice woman there who works behind the counter, and for some strange reason, she likes me. I don't know why. And when she can't give me a freebie, she gives me the employee discount. So in theory, I'm actually a Chipotle employee because I have it on my receipt, 50% employee discount.
I'm sorry. And if you work there, I think you should say the name correctly. So what's it called?
Chipotle.
No. And when he gets this discount, he, as I like to say, he floats and close into the office.
I make sure everyone knows.
Guess what just happened?
My girlfriend came through again. Don't know who she is.
So impressed.
Don't know her name.
It's really impressive how much free extra meat and discounts he finessed.
Wait, Lou is married.
That's from being his charm.
I'm married. I don't know the woman's name, but she's for some reason.
You are married, but you now have a girlfriend who works at where?
Chipotle. I don't know how to pronounce this stupid store. But it's all right. As long as I get the freebies, I'll keep ripping the name.
Should we let him know how to say it? Or should we just let him?
No. I don't want to know. I'm not going to say it right. It's worked for me. I say it the way I say it. I get freebies out of it. It works for me.
So it's not down there on the screen for everyone to read. Chipotle, guys.
That's right.
Obviously, this is things. So, Jen, you got a couple questions here on the board as people are tuning in real fast. This is a question for Jen. Between these two options, which would you pick? The Hartford Whalers return to the NHL, or every New York team wins a championship you get to cover?
That is a really hard question. I often don't talk about the teams I root for because I have to cover them, but I will say the teams I hate. I hate the Red Sox. And I hate... Yeah, sorry, Matt. I'm going to say I love to hate the Red Sox. And then I also hate the Hurricanes because the Hartford Whalers left Hartford, my hometown, and went to go play in Carolina, and they've been really good since. Oh, I don't got that. You know what? Can we come back to that one? Can you
just go right at the top of your head?
No, real quick.
Hartford Whalers come back. Ooh. I'm used to seeing these teams. I'm
used to seeing these teams lose. You're okay with that? Losing is okay. We're okay.
And you know what? The ladies did get it done. I have been able to cover some championships. Gotham FC, the Liberty, NYCFC, and 2020.
You've seen some good things.
Yeah.
I've seen some things.
And some bad times.
And a whole lot of bad times.
A lot more planned times. Very bad.
So I'm still waiting for our number one fan to get in the comments and drop some knowledge on us. But Stevie House of Collectibles, she said, the fact that Lou can't pronounce Chipotle, it might be a senior thing. My kids mock me for the pronunciation.
I'm not going to admit to that, even though it's probably true.
Is that a senior thing?
It's probably true.
Okay, we'll talk.
In my day, that's what it was called.
I'm pretty sure, what do you mean in your day?
I don't know. When did it
It's
start?
been around for like 15 years.
All right, 15 years ago, that's what we called it.
Okay, well, speaking about seniors, the Indiana.
Hey, listen, I love this team. You know what? You're right. The average age of that team is about 32. It's okay.
Okay, that's incorrect. It's just older than the guys on Miami. It's about 24,
24, 25.
Yeah.
Listen, the way it works now, everybody stays in college forever. NIL, no, it's funny.
So many transfers,
Transfers, doing what they're doing, and it all comes down to our guy, Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
Diego Pavia sued college football, and then basically they're in a injunction. The injunction was laid out, allowed him to play an extra year, and because of the whole portal.
He gets a pass, though, because we talk about where he came from and what he's done at Vanderbilt. Right. It's almost like, okay, but when guys transfer like 4 different times just to chase some money, and they really don't have a loyalty to that team, I feel like that's different.
Well, there are some interesting cases where you have guys, especially quarterbacks. We saw it with Jackson Dart. He came from Ole Miss, from USC.
Joe Burrow.
Yep, and Fernando Mendoza, he was at UCLA, right? And those went to Cal. Thank you. Sorry, I'm an East Coaster. And the guy
in Miami, Carson Beck.
These are guys who are like, I need my reps. If I can't be backup, I need my reps, and so they transfer elsewhere. So there are cases where guys are just transferring so that they get a shot of what they were promised. And look at someone like Fernando Mendoza, how well that worked out.
True.
And now
when they take money from a team, the first team you sign for, it's almost just like you took that money, then you might have to sit on the bench for a bit. But like if you take that money, it's like either one or the other. Either transfer around without a penalty and don't accept the money. But if you take the money to keep going around, I feel like this is turning into. I mean, not NFL players cannot do this.
Well, they do when their contracts.
Yeah,
in theory. See, the key difference now is, number one, like I told you, they have the portal is open for all players, and it used to be you had to sit out. If you transfer, you had to sit out. Now you no longer have to sit out. So you kind of work an extra year out of that. So 2, with the whole pandemic, guys got extra eligibility because of the way they didn't play for crowds.
Is null and void now because that.
Well, we're at the point today, like 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah. That's 6 years. So a lot of these guys are just now ending it. So now what Diego's trying to do, Pavia's trying to do, is get that whole eligibility thing killed, and that way you can play as long as you want. If you're going to make it professional, play football.
Well, I got to shout out to these Indiana Hoosier fans. They're very fun for them to watch. This hasn't been done in I don't even know how many years.
Ever.
I don't even know.
Ever.
Anyways,
yeah, they had
ever.
But it felt more like watching a roster construction win this thing, and I don't know.
And you know what, though? You can bring in all the seniors and all the players you want, but you still got to win. And that coach put them all together.
Yeah,
Mendoza proved it on the field that he's a legit quarterback. Tom Brady, the GOAT, was on the field watching him because he's going to draft him.
Yep.
He's going to be in Las Vegas next year, and he's going to, I think,
I'm proud of this kid, and I think it's pretty amazing that he was, like, denied. He went to camp at UM. It was denied, like, even going to camp there, and a lot of people told him no, so it's cool to see him do what he did. Okay, we got to go to break because get your britches ready. We're getting hot and heavy up in here as we're talking Heated Rivalry, all about the show, how it became the phenomenon it did, talking about the author. We're even playing a Heated Rivalry trivia game, and we're getting very real and raw. I'll leave it at that. Hope your panties are unknotted because we're going to get them in a knot as we talk Heated Rivalry. Just want to shout out some people that are commenting on TikTok and YouTube right now. James, get the hell out of here. You want me to dump that European sport padel, which I say paddle? Hell no, because paddle is way better than pickleball. Whoever plays that, no offense to anyone here.
Yeah.
No,
I do not play
but
pickleball.
Please, James, come at me next time with a little harder
say, you can
comment.
Play both. Let me know. Free lesson.
Nope.
A little tennis.
Can't do it. I tried. I've taken lessons. It does not work for my body. I don't think this Mexican gal is supposed to be playing tennis. I've taken lessons, and they told me no, it does not work for me. So I stuck with paddle. No tennis for me. Also, a shout out to everyone that's commenting on YouTube. I know who's Mike Bobo is a bum. I don't know who that is, but we're not going to send him to the Cowboys. Okay, so this is what you came for. Heated Rivalry. Let's get into it. How this show blew up. We got some thoughts on this. Jen, I'm going to let you start on this one first.
Oh, it's so funny because I had a few people including our sports anchor, Tina Servasio. She said, Jen, sports, you're going to really like this.
Yeah.
Because I remember people telling me about it. I'm like, I don't know if this show is for me. And we were talking about this earlier from the jump, from the smoking scene, the very opening scene. I'm like, oh, these characters, you have the bad boy of hockey, Russian. That's Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby. And
allegedly, let's not say it's them.
Yeah, allegedly.
We're not going to say it's
that
them.
Shane Hollander,
I
the
think
buttoned-up poster boy.
We're basing it on our opinion.
So I enjoyed a lot of the sports aspect, but for me personally, I think it's so easy, and I feel this way about Game of Thrones. It's so easy to get caught up in the spicy parts, and I'm not saying I didn't like them. It's just so impressive what they were able to do in 36 days. It's so well written. It's so well directed. The two actors, people are calling them the next Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves. I mean, we are seeing two generational talents hit their stride on this show, and so. I think there's just a lot of different themes, so it appeals to a lot of different people.
Yeah, I thought the acting was incredible. The storyline of it, first of all, just to give you a heads up, this is all based on a book series called Game Changers. This show that you're watching is book 2 of Game Changers. It was released back in March of 2019, and it blew up even on its own genre. It's like gay sports, love stories, and the author only writes this type of stuff, and she does it so well. You're so right about the two actors who I thought were incredible, especially the guy, Connor Story, who plays Ilya. He learned like Russian in a month.
That's amazing.
When I was watching him, I said, are you sure this guy's not actually Russian?
I'm glad I went into it not knowing a whole lot, because I thought he was some Russian actor that they had just described. Found.
Good. I'm telling you, this guy is next level. Lou, we told him we wanted to do this.
I watched it.
This whole.
I watched it.
We held his feet to the fire.
My thoughts are, I don't think we need as many sex scenes. I'm being honest.
Okay.
But that's just my point
Sounds
of view.
like you need a little extra fun in your life.
And I'm not saying just because it was gay sex scenes or not. I thought the storyline by itself was strong enough. To me, I was intrigued by how they had to keep it silent, how they had to keep it away from the teammates, away from the families, how tough it is to do. And since these books came out, there have been a couple of gay hockey players who are in regular leagues. One's in England, another one played. And they said point blank that they watched it and it was painful for them to watch because all the memories came back, how difficult it is. People don't understand. As much as it's changed in 2026 and we have gay marriage and is accepted in most places, for a long time, it's not. And when I started working here at Fox 5, we had a lot of gay workers, people who worked here, executives. I don't try to say that, but people, but could never, ever admit their sexuality while working. They couldn't, and they knew it. We had a producer here. I'm not going to name names. No one knew that he was gay at the time, but I could say it. He would go in these meetings, and they would talk, ripping, how things were talked about in the 80s. He had an ulcer and had to leave work because it was too much for him. But he could not speak up because he knew he could not speak up.
Well, can you imagine what it also feels like now in a sports setting for these guys, ultra masculine? It gives you a peek inside of that world, and that's why it's so intriguing. But let's just talk a little bit more about the author and the books. Her name, Christine Reid, I think. Rachel Reid, sorry. She's a Canadian author. She's a lifelong hockey fan. And again, she only does exclusively queer sports romance between men. And she does not write straight romance, which I thought was interesting, because when you watch this, you're like, this is so believable, but she's not. I don't know how she gets inside the mind of a queer male so well from a female's perspective. How did she do this?
I don't know. It's really resonating with women as well. And when you hear that it was written by a female, again, these themes of communication. And again, there is this element of forbidden love, yearning. They play in different cities. They're having to sneak around in hotel rooms. So there's again a spicy element in terms of romance that I think women like. But again, these are two guys who are at the top of their game. Financially, they're on the same level. There aren't these like centuries of kind of sexism in the way, and so it's like love between equals. And I know a lot of women that resonated with women. There's a lot of communication, support.
Communication, girl, there was a lack of communication. That is why it resonated with me. Because
well, they did work on it. They did work it.
Yeah,
on
but
it
when you watch the first four
the
episodes,
first 4
it gave me PTSD, and I'm not a gay man.
I would say Kip and Scott were very, very communicative.
Okay, first of all, are we gonna go into the love bombing territory? Because that guy spent the night once, and he goes, "I want you to stay forever."
That
and I
was
said,
a little
"Hold the
unbelievable.
freak on."
Yes, that was
Anyways,
unbelievable.
they move
But
fast.
my
but okay.
my friend who is gay, we send each other memes back and forth, and he loves it. I think the girls are a little more obsessed with the fandom.
Yes.
Of it, because it's, I guess it's the fantasy of like 2 boyfriends, I guess.
Two
which
hot ones.
For me, it's not a fantasy, but
Well, the only people
She's lived that life. She
Right.
knows what it's like to deal with 2 boyfriends at the same time.
Oh,
Do you know
2.
what that
You
is
could be
like?
not at the very
I haven't had
same
2
time,
boyfriends
but
at the
you
same
know
time.
what
I just said
So
at the same time.
I don't know what it's like, because I've never had 2 boyfriends at the same time.
Honestly, would you want to?
No, I don't want
It
one.
sounds
but-
kind of fun.
But no.
Especially
You know
what if they're professional hockey
totally
players and
kidding,
very
guys.
Only
I work
rich.
too much.
well, hockey players don't make as much money as football, basketball
Yes.
players, so I'd probably go more basketball, football.
Okay, so you'd like okay.
Oh,
I
baseball.
will say, I think there was this like element throughout the show of like, we were talking about this before, of one of the female characters who's best friends with Kip is like, hey, you should be able to like love out in the open. And me working and covering sports, I was talking with another sports reporter I got my start covering hockey. She's covered hockey for 15 years. And this idea of coming out while you're playing is just not something
not gonna happen.
I would love to see it in my lifetime.
You don't think it's gonna happen?
I'd be very, very, very
The few people
surprised.
Okay.
who have,
and,
the few
and
people
also
who have,
hockey rolled back their pride initiatives. They had patches, and they rolled that back because some other players were saying, hey, because of their religious beliefs, they were unable to have that patch.
and there was also a lot of Russian players who wouldn't take part.
Right.
Well,
so
it's interesting because the visibility in the sports double standard, when we talk about women's sports, about 30 to 40% of elite women athletes are openly LGBTQ plus, and they got open relationships. We've seen them.
Yeah.
So they dating each other on the same team. Can you imagine that happening on
No.
the New York Giants,
No.
the Devils,
out in the open,
the
the way that
Jets?
I mean, the way
people
these
forget-
the female players joke amongst each other. They'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, she was over at so and so's."
Sports is no different than anything else in this world. I mean, there have been gay athletes forever, and we've heard stories. When you have athletes come to the studio, when you talk behind the scenes, they will tell you, and we've heard stories. So this is nothing that's like, oh my God, this, because they never come out. They're just not going to come out. They understand with the teammates, with the locker room, it's an area where it does not work. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's not a double standard, but it's very, very difficult to
Sure.
do that.
Okay, but now let's get to the conversation everyone wants to talk about is what is Connor Story's glute routine? Because we saw that in the first episode, and I said, I glitched a little bit. I couldn't talk. I said, rewind, pause.
like, damn.
Let's watch that again.
Yeah, it was pretty
But
impressive.
that is a known thing for hockey players. So
Yes.
shout out to all the hockey players. Keep doing what you're doing because it
It's
looks
the
great.
skating. It's the pushing off. Hockey butts are infamous. Not famous, infamous. And then Connor Story was actually saying that when he does squats, he'll be elevated. So
Yes.
say he's got a
Allows
kettlebell,
him to get
he's
lower.
going lower, or he'll be on a slant. So
Okay, so now we're all going to get hockey butts after
Yes.
watching this show. But before we go, okay, so I'm going to play a little heated rivalry trivia and debate with you guys. Okay, so this is the game and the title. Emotionally unavailable or just Canadian? First question on the list. He checks in on you constantly, but never talks about himself. Jen.
you're talking about Shane.
No,
you
have to
it's
say
the answer one or the other.
emotionally
Canadian?
unavailable or just Canadian?
Oh, Canadian.
Canadian. Ooh, Canada. Okay, step
Go
it
Canada.
up.
Go
Next
Canada.
question. He's incredibly consistent, loyal, and present until emotions come up. Emotionally unavailable or just Canadian?
Emotionally unavailable.
I think I side with that one. Jen, number 3. He shows up for every big moment but avoids follow-up conversations.
Just Canadian.
Hand it to Canada. You know, they got to work on that. Okay, number 4. He believes actions matter more than words and uses that to dodge hard talks.
Oh, that's got to be emotional.
I was going to say that's probably just
that
you.
has to be.
Yes.
That's definitely
you?
me.
Hard.
I don't
Okay,
want to talk
that's
to Annie
you.
about it. No way.
That's you. Okay, what about this one?
That would be American.
Jen, he's emotionally expressive in private, but completely guarded in public.
Oh, just Canadian.
That is Canadian. Wow,
very
that is
Canadian.
definitely Canadian. Okay, last one. He avoids labels because they complicate things, not because he doesn't care.
Emotional.
I was going to say, you probably did that in the past. What are you talking about? That's
that's
you.
pretty much
Okay, so
emotional.
before we go, last thoughts on what you'd rate Heated Rivalry. What do you think? We got 20 seconds. Hurry up. What do you think about Heated Rivalry before we go?
I love it. I've watched it 3 times.
Oh my
A
God,
hat trick.
3?
And not just one episode 3 times or 3 episodes, the whole series 3 times.
You were obsessed
Wow,
with
you
hockey
really are
butts.
obsessed. Oh, my God.
Girl, you got to
you're
get a
obsessed.
life. It's okay. I'm
Oh,
going to
my
join you.
God.
It's
Okay,
cold
Lou, before
right
you go.
now.
Too much sex. Like the story.
Love the story. Keep the sex and the
prude.
hockey butts. We love it. Give us more. Can't wait for the
Too
next
much.
season.
Too much.
Stay tuned. We'll catch you guys next week.